This insightful lecture aims to bring in expert analysis that enrich your understanding on the issue of feudalism in general and Indian feudalism in particular. First, what is feudalism? Feudalism is a multidimensional concept that reflects fragmented polity, bottled economy, stratified hierarchical and patriarchal social order, stagnated culture, or belief faith based way of life. Inspired from Henry Pirrain's historical study of Middle Age Europe that underlined feudal elements and conceptualized concept of feudalism in context of Europe, Marxist nationalist historian R.S. Sharma introduced Indian feudalism as a new concept or a new direction in Indian history writing. Essentials of Indian feudalism: decline in distant trade or commercial linkage and disruption or feudalization of internal trade. Decline in distant trade due to external factors. In this context, for India's distant trade's decline, the external factor was disturbances in Byzantine Empire or Eastern Roman Empire. Disruption in internal trade, declined monetary system, emergence of bottled economy, self-sufficient local economy. Self-sufficient or bottled economy is thrusted forward towards agrarian economy, ruralization. In essence, it reflects urban decay, fragmented polity, land grants, and to confer administrative responsibilities on land grantees in later phases, and even mobilization of people in land granted area tied with the wishes of land grantee created a whole chain of intermediaries between king or ruler and their ruled subjects. Fragmented polity fermented multi-state system that weakened and even challenged central authority or central state. Decline in trade and increasing lands grants contracted the potential of revenue for a state. And revenue is the horse of a state that moves ahead the chariot of a state. Without regular or enough revenue to maintain a standing army and efficient, effective administrative structure for a state is not possible. Weakened central authority. Weakened central authority to exert its decision on periphery or feudal lords. Social hierarchy, stratification, patriarchy deprived or corrode society and state from its potentials realization. Stagnation in culture that deprived society from original works in literature. New innovative innovations in science and technological sphere. Stagnation in culture also weakened argumentative Indian tradition and dominated belief, faith, localization, imitation in cultural sphere. Historian B.D. Chattopadhyay enriched the concept of Indian feudalism introduced by Ramcharan Sharma with his constructive criticism and innovative alternative ideas. As diversity of ideas and healthy interaction between them is the beauty of humanities. B.D. Chattopadhyay accepted the idea of urban decay introduced by Ramcharan Sharma in their Indian feudalism, partially in Gangetic Valley. While introduced, the new urban centers emerged along with urban decay, and the history writing of or Indian history cannot be centered or revolve only on Gangetic Valley. So beyond Gangetic Valley, B.D. Chattopadhyay established the new idea of pan-Indian emergence of urban centers and conceptualized a new idea, a new concept as third urban revolution. It was the period when agriculture expanded in new areas, and in this context, land grants became the catalyzing factor for the expansion of agrarian prosperity that flourished prosperity and promoted or nudged urbanization. The claim of decline in monetary system addressed with literary sources by B.D. Chattopadhyay. As we cannot afford archaeological access in historical conclusions or history writing, as Ramcharan Sharma's claims of decline in monetary system was entirely based on archaeological sources. B.D. Chattopadhyay introduced a new concept of integrative state system instead of multi-state system in fragmented polity introduced by Ramcharan Sharma. The integrative state system, a result of economic growth and prosperity, and these emerging states integrated themselves with central authority to establish their dynastic legitimacy or acquire dynastic legitimacy in scriptures created by Brahmins or Buddhist monks. It was the era when eastern, western, and southern parts of India or Indian subcontinent embraced their glorious economic prosperity. Political prowess, for an example, in southern peninsula, Chol kingdom influenced their political prowess in entire Southeast Asia, but rest or based on their commercial ambitions and invincible naval force in that time. The wonderful architecture and amazing sculptures that radiates civil engineering's excellence and demonstrates science and technological accomplishments. Now, these archaeological sites, UNESCO's Cultural World Heritage Sites in India, like Lingaraj in eastern part, Vridheshwar in southern part, and Kanchi's Kailash Nath temple in western part, radiates or demonstrates that era's scientific and technological exemplary examples. In literature, commentary on Yajnavalkya Smriti Mitakshara, written by Vikaneshwar, is an inspiring or exemplary book on law. In mathematics, Bhaskaracharya's creation of Leelavati is an inspiring example were written in that era. The greatest thinker of Hinduism, Shankaracharya's vibrant civilized discourses or Shastrarth reflects inspiring, exemplary, argumentative tradition or heritage of Indians, their cultural pilgrimage of entire Indian subcontinent, entire India, established or establishment of formats or temples in four directions of India that declares cultural unity of India as a civilization. It was the reflection, or sorry, it has been a reflection of the spirit of Jambudweep in structure or in concrete form. Philosophy of Shankaracharya's unique, amazing, non-dualism. Aham Brahmasmi, Tvamasi, I am super being, and you also. Establish equality of each and every one beyond their religion, caste, creed, ethnicity, or even gender. That was revolution in that era or in Indian feudal era. These facts, impartial analysis established that to depict this era as feudal and to underline decline in every sphere, every region of Indian subcontinent cannot be a reasonable conclusion. It is to be noted and it is to be reasonable, remarkable. Sorry, it is not reasonable to impose the European feudalism on Indian history writing, but we cannot ignore feudal elements in form of exploitation of those engaged in agrarian activities or people from marginalized state of Indian society, discrimination from with untouchables, stratified of social order and cultural deprivation, along with above mentioned accomplishments or exemplary examples of achievements. We cannot ignore the importance of Ramchandra Sharma, who was foundational pillar for this concept of Indian feudalism and directed Indian history writing or historiography in new direction. And B.D. Chattopadhyay's exemplary contribution to addresses concept of Indian feudalism introduced by Ramchandra Sharma enriched Indian historiography, enriched our understanding about history writing, our ancestors' way of life in a specific era, early medieval era, from 750 Common Era to 1300 Common Era in various